What's up, guys? Ryan Bresnahan back with Talking Point of the Day. Today we're going to discuss one of my favorite books. This book changed my life. It changed my outlook on life and what everything that goes on in my life can mean, and the story that I create about what they mean. If you watch my last topic on mindfulness, you'll hear a lot about me describing the stories that we create. This was a big book that gave me that first revelation, and that first look into what stories was I creating and how they are impacting my life, and how I can really flip those stories on their head and use them to create my own fire, to create my own impact on the world, and really change the world how I see fit. So it gives me the power. So what is this book that gives me all this good stuff and that has impacted many others, become a New York Times bestseller, and one of my favorite books to this day? Well, part of the reason I don't have it in my hands right now is because I lent it to a great friend of mine, to this girl that I think she would benefit a lot from reading this book. It means a lot to me. It's one of my favorite books. It was the first copy I bought. I will definitely buy another one sooner or later and just have it in my book stand and bring it with me wherever I go, as a journal, as a book keep to have, so I can use it in my life. This book is called The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. So I actually found out about it from listening to a podcast, the On It podcast, back when it was called that anyways. I believe so, or it was one of the people in On It. And the On It is a gym in Austin, Texas, if you haven't heard of it. Their whole process, or their whole motto, is total human optimization, meaning we are a gym, but we also want to optimize not only our physical, but our nutritional, our mental state, our emotional state, and our spiritual state. And they're actually like into psychedelics and like biohacking. They're into everything, nutrition, and that's kind of why I like them. They're on the forefront of all aspects of fitness and mentality and whatnot. And I mean, you can ask yourself, what do you think is really a great way to improve any area of your life, to get to a goal faster? You would think that optimizing all areas of your life would get you to that goal faster, right? I mean, if I had asked you a question, hey, if you want to run a business one day, if you want to become a CEO, what do you think is going to help you get there? Do you think just studying what CEOs do, but studying 12 hours a day and not moving, not eating right, not working on your emotions, not working on regulating your emotions, not working on, whatever else other aspects of life there are, that would help you get to your goal faster, becoming a CEO and becoming a more efficient CEO. So tangent aside, going back to the book, The Obstacle is the Way. The meaning of the book, really what it goes over is in the title in and of itself. The obstacle is the way. This is such a great way of saying and attacking life and using life to your advantage, because life is going to happen to all of us. In reality, every time we get on the road, we are taking a risk that a car crash could happen. We could wreck our car. We could get our limbs amputated. We could die. Our family member could die if they get on the road. And this is just one example. There are so many things that life can happen to all of us. There's so many obstacles that can happen to all of us. And even if they are, as extreme as I just mentioned, we create a lot of them. Like I was mentioning, I've created a lot of stories for myself. I mean, think about a time where you've maybe confronted someone or confronted something that you thought was really bad, or someone was talking bad about you, and it was never as bad as you thought. Maybe you had a test that you were studying for, or maybe you went and asked the girl out, or maybe you didn't want to work out that day, and then you finished the workout and you're like, that was not as bad as I made it out to be. So we really have these stories and almost like defense mechanisms for action, for putting ourselves out there, for putting ourselves out of safety and into risk, that we create for ourselves. So this book really details how to make these challenges, how to make these opportunities in life beneficial to us. And the key is right there, is really labeling them as, hey, they might be an obstacle, but guess what? It's the way. If we want to get stronger, if we want to win the race of life, we're going to have to move over this obstacle. It's just like a track race where they're running through the steeplechase and all that. They're jumping over the hurdles and doing all this stuff. You have to go around, under, across, through, transport between obstacles to get to where you want to go. And this book really outlines the way to do that. So how does it outline it? Number one, it changes your perspective on what obstacles are and what they mean for you. So like I just outlined, just changing the word alone changing it from challenge, from impossible to possible, changing it to opportunity. Hey, guess what? Okay, let's say someone gets fired from their job. How can I make this an opportunity? What kind of opportunity is this? Maybe I have more time to spend with my family. Maybe I have more time to get my fitness in check. Maybe I can actually do what I've always wanted to do. Maybe I can use that. Maybe I get mad. I mean, it's totally understandable to get mad. Maybe I do use that anger, that energy, that emotion to apply to 40 jobs in one day, because I am so filled up with energy that I'm going to go make something freaking happen. So how can I use this opportunity to get to where I want to be? And that's something that this book is all about. And it's just flipping obstacles on its head to use them to your advantage. So one story it brings up is Amelia Earhart. And it's pretty cool how the author brings her up. And he talks about how for years she wanted to fly the plane across the Atlantic, right? That's how we all remember her. She was the first woman to do it, and she did it. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. That's what we know, and that's what we see, and that's what people know her as. They don't know about all the years that she spent in flight school, that she spent wanting to fly, but back then they didn't allow women to fly, or they discriminated against her because she was a woman, and they made it so much harder for her, and then she had to be like a co-pilot and like probably clean the planes and stuff, and it was just years and years of abuse, and not people weren't letting her pursue her dream. And she used that, all that energy, all that doubt, all that challenge that she could have faced. She could have said whatever and threw in the towel, but no, she didn't, and that's why we remember her. So it's people like that we remember, and we see them, we see the success, but we don't see all the challenges that they face. So I want to build on this even more. It's not only about the challenges that they face, it's also about how they look at it and what they do with it. So really one thing on this book, I remember I have a little notebook that I took notes with it whenever I read the book. I don't usually take notes, but this book I did. It was some really good stuff in here. And one of the quotes right here is by Ralph Waldo Emerson. He was a philosopher in the 18th century. I believe he lived in the U.S. And it was, "We cannot spend the day in explanation." And what he means by that is just sometimes we need to just act and feel. If I have a truck coming at me, I can't spend the time that the truck is running at me and being like, why is this guy doing this? Like, why would he do this to me? Why is this guy attacking me right now? Like, is he really about to run me over? That's how you get run. That's how you die. That's how you cease to exist and cease to get your goals. It's the same thing with if you have a bully coming at you, if you have a hard test coming at you, if you have an expense come your way, an unexpected expense, if you have something hard in your life that is not comfortable coming at you, you don't have time to think. You don't have time to create stories, because that's only going to get you killed. And even if the story's correct, even if the truck is driving at me, I'm like, why would this guy do this? Is he drunk? Oh, he's drunk? Okay, bam, I still get ran over. It does not matter why the obstacle is there. It does not matter why it's happening to you. Do not spend your day in explanation. Just act, achieve your goal, save your life in the truck example. Stop the bully before he keeps bullying you. Go ask the girl out before you get rejected because you took 6 months to go ask her out. Whatever it is just take action. And there's another part. It says, don't waste time on false constructs. So that's really what it comes down to, is don't create these elaborate stories in your mind that really don't serve you at all, and really they don't play a part in reality. You're just wasting your time in dream world, whereas reality is happening right now. So how can we act right now? Another thing that's great about this book is it's really based on Stoicism. If you haven't heard of Stoicism, it's a philosophy track that I think it dates back to like the Greek-Roman era, with Socrates and Seneca, and then Marcus Aurelius, he was the emperor of Rome at some point. And if you've seen the movie Gladiator, this is a great movie to watch. It actually has Marcus Aurelius in it at the very beginning, right before he dies. So Marcus Aurelius is really the most famous. Him and Seneca are the two most famous guys for Stoicism. And Ryan Holiday, the author of The Obstacles Away, is a big Stoic philosopher, a big Stoic follower. And Stoicism is the act, if I had to condense it in one sentence, Stoicism is the act of turning obstacles on their head and using them for your benefit. So in Marcus Aurelius's life, I think, quote me if I'm wrong, go check it up. But he had a lot of challenges. I think his country was at war. Rome was at war the whole time he was emperor. I think his uncle or his brother or someone tried to kill him and take the throne, and maybe like his wife died, and Rome went bankrupt at one point. People were uprising and all this crazy stuff. And from what I can tell from what I've heard, he was a benevolent ruler, and he did things like one example I remember when Rome was bankrupt. He actually took all the nice statues that were in the palace and he put them on the front lawn for sale to stimulate the Roman economy again. So he took what not professors, what rulers, what the Caesars or whoever was in charge of the Roman Empire would have as prized possessions, and they'd never want to get rid of those statues. But he was less attached to those material things in life. He would take it and just look at it. Okay, I can get my country, I can get my people out of poverty by getting rid of my own possessions that I don't necessarily need, and just kind of having that attachment from materiality and holding on to things in fear. And that's really what the whole book is about, is just disattaching yourself from things that don't serve you anymore, from thought patterns that don't serve you, and really looking at life in pure objective reality. There is no good, there is no bad, because if you spend time labeling something as good or bad, you're wasting time labeling, and it may not always be a bad thing or a detrimental thing to reaction, like in the truck example. We don't have trucks running at us every day, so it may not be a bad thing to really label something, but a lot of times it is energy wasted. So how can we really act on something much quicker and get a lot more out of it in our own life? So it's really what The Obstacle is the Way is about. Such a great book. I love it. It really teaches you and gives you another perspective of how to flip life experiences on their head and use them for you and not let them use you. So I highly recommend reading this book, y'all. The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. Go check it out. I will talk to you guys next time.